Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War 3. Last time around we fought over at the Russian front and we took out Odessa. And we took the entire Crimean region plus, I guess, lower Ukraine as well. So we have forced the Russians out of the Black Sea, so it's completely under our control, which is really good. And as an extension of that, hopefully we'll be able to capture the Russian Black Sea fleet, especially those trade ships. One thing that I did forget about was the fact that the Russians have a trade port here in Sevastopol, which means that I could set up trade routes, 2 extra trade routes, which I set up with the Dutch and Sardinia. I also started trading a bit more with technologies, and I was able to get land drainage and public schooling. I also think, which one was classical economics, I believe. We haven't researched that one. I think we researched national debt and then we moved on to national census, because we need national census to get mass mobilization and so on. So I've been able to trade that, but it's not been easy trading it. They're not really that helpful in trading. The only nation that sort of like us a little bit, or is friendly towards us, is actually Great Britain. And in my dealings here I also noticed that Prussia has actually sided with France. They're allied with France this time around, and they're at war with the Austrians and the Russians. And now the Russians are actually facing someone at their border, and Austria is facing yet another enemy at their border, so hopefully they'll try to avoid us. And I decided, even though with what happened at Odessa, I am going to attack here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see if this pitiful general, Mehmed Ali, can go ahead and... he was... Muhammad Ali of Egypt was an Ottoman Albanian commander in the Ottoman army and self-declared Khedive of Egypt. He's regarded as the founder of modern Egypt due to his drastic reforms in the military, economic and cultural sphere that he instituted. Okay, but he's a pretty mediocre general. He's only got 3 stars. He's a courageous leader though, which gives us a lot of morale, and he's attacking general, which is exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna attack Kutuzov. Oh, I brought with me the militia that's supposed to defend town. Oh, this is heavily against us, which I'm not entirely surprised, but we might be able to pull this off if it's not a bridge battle, but it's a... Ooh, this is not in our favor. Normally that wouldn't be a problem, but now we don't even have good troops to kind of turn this around. And Kutuzov has really good troops. If I retreat now, the unit is not going to go to town. It's gonna he's gonna run somewhere else. Okay, so we made a mistake, but we'll fight as hard as we can. I was wrong. It was in fact a river crossing, which is gonna help us a lot, because that means we can funnel the enemy into our spikes, or their heavy cavalry into our spikes, which should be great. The only question is if we can force them to actually cross the river onto us. Now I do have a ton of mortars. We have 9 mortars, so that should help us destroy their artillery. I have deployed, as you can see, with kind of a redoubt around the mortars. We're gonna move towards here, set up spikes and stuff. And I put the Tartars over here. Maybe I put them actually here. And then I can ride around, ride over the bridge and then ride around the enemy, harassing them from behind. With that said, let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna move up my snipers to the river, and we're gonna get the archers out here so they can place spikes. Anyone else that can place spikes? This unit, actually, which is one of the good units when I was looking through it. The main problem with the Ottoman army is not necessarily always the accuracy of the troops. It's more to do with the fact that they've got shit morale. So they've got god-awful morale. The Russian troops have about twice as much morale as our units, most of the time, or all of the time. At least twice, I should say. They have at least twice as much morale for their units as we do. Right now, I can't see the cannon. We can, however, see some hussars that I guess we're targeting with the mortars. I'm gonna send forward the Tartars. We're gonna move them to this forest over here. Maybe they can scout from over there and see what the enemy's up to. I'll be very reluctant to actually move over the river, but I might have to, just to drag the enemy out. And if we do, it should be these two, which I believe are the kind of the old school Janissaries. These are also old school Janissaries, just that these guys are they're good enough that I would actually want to recruit them. We've got this, which is an elite unit of archers. So hopefully we can hide them somewhere where they can kind of shoot at the enemy. We have taken out one soldier of Kutuzov's bodyguard. We have a fallback point, at least. Since the Russians are not really willing to come to us, we're gonna have to come to them. Oh, there we see. They've probably been stupid and placed their artillery in the forest or something. You are definitely not gonna cross the river because you're gonna get run over so easy. Same with the snipers and the militia units. We'll keep the general on our side of the river, in fact. Now when I think about it. And we can see something in the forest. Lots of infantry moving around in there. We'll target the forest with the howitzers, or the mortars, I mean. See if we'll get anyone. Got a number of shells flying in here. Exploding overhead and into the forest. Doesn't seem as though we got anyone. What I'm planning to do is just kind of hoping that I can stir the Russians up, get them to attack our position. If I can, it would be really great if I could take out the enemy's artillery. If I can find that and take that. There it is. There it is. The Tartars have spotted it. Which is great. Maybe want you guys a little more on an angle. As soon as the enemy comes over the river, you're in position to attack them. What I'm thinking here is, looks like they're not really protecting their artillery. Okay, so the hussars are moving in. One problem I also noticed, that it seems that none of our troops are that great at forming square. Which is a definite problem. Okay, the enemy is mobilizing towards the Tatars. They're putting in the Leibgvardi, Pavlovsky. Charge! The charge of the Tatars. I want to take out as many troops out of their artillery as possible. Okay, the charge of the hussars is going on the other side. Luckily, I formed in kind of tight ranks, and we do have. Ooh, I can see these guys are losing men quickly as the Pavlovsky guard open up on them. Luckily for me, though, I was able to achieve the goal of killing the enemy cannons. They had only 19 men left. Half of the Leibgvardi hussars was sent off. However, here we have a special unit, which is the 17th Jaeger unit, or Yagari, Jägerski. Okay, the hussars are already back and ready to attack. We're gonna have to hold for a little bit longer, just at least that we can break these guys again, and then we're gonna retreat across the river and prepare to face the Russians. Okay, here comes the second hussar charge. They're charging straight into our ranks, but supported by their general. Oh, they're trying to push through to get Muhammad Ali Pasha. The enemy cavalry is gone. The Russians are really quick. Into column, gentlemen, and across the river we go. The Russians are closing in. Canister, if you please, and the mortars will target the enemy. Lots of our men are dead, but lots of Russians are also dead. They still have the heavy cavalry. So if we thought it was bad when the enemy, we're gonna put these two on this side. We're gonna put you on this side. And then we're gonna have canister going in between, and we're gonna have the archers there, and we're gonna have Muhammad Ali behind the archers. Okay, the Jaegers are skirmishing with each other. Not really, because our Jaegers are... or our light troops are Bedouins, I think they are. Bedewi Turk, blah blah blah. Let's make sure the angle here is a little bad. And then we want canister going right towards there. The AI performing very well, I must say. They stopped to fire and they don't keep going like they usually do. I think to defeat those Jaegers we have to mobilize this one as well, move that into the flank. Right now we've only taken 20 men out of the enemy unit, which is not that great, and I imagine they have probably taken probably 100 of us. Here comes the mortar shot. I don't know if it's killing anyone. If the enemy oh, here comes the heavy cavalry. Hold the canister for now. And wait for my order. When the heavy cavalry is closer. Okay, now. Perfect shot. And then they'll have to go through all the spikes. And the archers. We're really an outdated army. We're using... Our elite unit is an archer unit. The heavy cavalry was sent off. Luckily for us. I want the mortar targeting the veteran musketeers on the other side of the river. Even though we managed this time, I'm not sure we're gonna manage as more troops come across. So it's grenadiers and Jaegers that are leading the charge across the river. Okay, now the guys are coming in full force here. Archers! Notch! Arrows! It looks rather pitiful. It's not like it's a rain of arrows that's coming the enemy's way. Why is not everyone firing? I want you all be firing. Yes, into the side of that light troop. Okay, my Jaegers, so my Bedouins, are now being murdered by Russian grenadiers, which is great. Pull back. I'm hoping most of the archers are now firing. Canister is going to be everything for us.
Our men are running first.
Oh, that was the that was the unit I was kind of banking on holding actually. Counter-charge! Archers! Forward! The light troop was sent away. Damn it, Kutuzov! You and your Russian bastards. Come on, cannons, please. Give me a shot. Send that unit away. Before they charge you. Ooh! That was a good shot. But unfortunately for my cannons, it was a bit too little too late. But that was a good shot that fired into that flank there. Killed loads. Okay, so the archers are actually holding pretty well. And the morale, especially with the morale. So the elite archers are holding. They're dying like flies though. Partly because we're shooting them in the back. The Russians have broken through. We're holding the Russians back here on the right though. these guys have managed to pull through. Now this unit's about to go, as it's as the Russians. Yeah, the Russians just murdered that unit. It's those Leibgewardi. Murderous charge. Destroys everything. So they've broken through my center, and everything seems hopeless. But then I forgot about something. The strength of the Ottomans lies in our cavalry. And now we will send them forth. The Mamluk will charge. And I'll send my most experienced Lancer unit into the flank of the Leibgewardi. Pavlovsky Leibgewardi. Grenadiersky. And they are running. We managed to get a perfect hit on them. And the guys are being broken up. They're a bit all over the place. Perfect target for cavalry. You're supposed to stand your ground and fix a tight formation against cavalry. Not like this. And now that wonderful unit, wonderful elite unit, was killed off. And utterly murdered by our men. Only 18 managed to get away. 11 men get away. And now we're tag teaming this unit. And perfect, just as the music of the Ottoman Empire starts.
Glorious victory, sir. It's soon to be yours.
Back on the cannons, if you please. No mercy for the infidels. Every single Russian soldier out of that unit was murdered. We'll set up the cavalry here. This unit's coming in to fire at these guys in the flank. We've got Muhammad Ali Pasha right behind. The redoubt is holding. The light troops are inflicting damage. It's only this grenadier unit left. Where's my... Yes. Get back on those guns. We'll fire canister into the enemy. And send them home. To hell. A lot of Ottomans died. Some impaled on our own spikes. Why are you not firing? There we go. Now you're firing. Kutuzov is leaving the field. It is over. It's over, old man. I guess Pasha is probably just as old. Canister towards the Russian center. I do think that the howitzers or the mortars have done their work today. They're not needed anymore. Canister ripping up the center of the Russian grenadier unit. They're a bit unsure of what side they're facing. They're still holding on though, really strong. Compared to my shit troops that routes as fast as the date fruits expire. No, I don't know. They probably have a pretty long expiration date. Right. Send in the cavalry. I'll promise every man you'll get 10 date fruits and a melon if you kill every Russian. wonder if Kutuzov is gonna stand and fight. He's urging his grenadiers to stand. But he should really be retreating. His bodyguard is being cut down. Kutuzov himself is very likely to be cut down. And there he goes. Kutuzov hit by a spear. However, he's just wounded. Okay, the grenadier unit completely murdered as well. A lot of murdering today. A lot of killing. To the last man. But victory is ours. And this will show that the dying man of Europe still got some fight in him. Even though he'll have to do it on the top of thousands of bodies. Victory. A much better victory, I must say. We still lost 1,000 men out of 3,000, so a third. The Russians lost a lot more. They lost 1,500 men out of 2,000, leaving only 500 men left. Highest kills goes to the artillery, no surprise there. That canister ripped right through them. Then it's the cavalry, followed by Solaklar, which I'm not entirely sure what they are. That could very well be the archers, actually, now when I think about it. If we go back, can we see? No, we can't see. I think it is them. But here we got the statistics anyway. Kutuzov sent off. Yeah, Soklar. So it was, besides the cannon and artillery, it was the elite archers. I think, though, it's mostly because they ran down a lot of enemies. One thing that I realized also here is the position of our supply post is very poorly placed. Given that, I mean, Belgrade is pretty nicely defended. There's 4 bridges close by, so it's easily defended. It's 5 bridges actually. And there's lots of rivers and ways, so there's lots of cover here. So it's not like you can get past it very easily. But instead of placing the supply depot back here, where it could be easily defended, it's placed up here, where it's harder to defend it, especially kind of right on the way here. Which isn't great, I must say. But there we have it. We saw of the Russians, the Kutuzov's attack in the Balkans, and we took Odessa, Little Tartary, from the Russians. But we've seen that it's not particularly easy. We're not playing a major faction. But so far, we've handled it pretty well. Next turn is going to be naval battles all around. Hopefully I'll capture this fleet. And then I'm thinking, we've got 2 enemy ships here. I wonder, I send these 3 away to attack this one and see if we cannot capture their ships. I'm pretty sure the stupid Austrians have actually sent their 2 trade ships here somewhere. If I could only see them. I imagine it could be these that are their trade ships. So we could capture those. So that if we capture that with the Russians, that would increase our trade fleet from 6 ships to 10. And that would mean that we could get a lot more spices. Now the spice price has actually fallen, but that's mostly because we have put so much effort on it. What we could see about diversifying is if we can find some of the others. So what do we have here? Coffee. Coffee. I don't think coffee was that good. Fur. Fur. Fur is definitely not good. But we got coffee free there. And then we got coffee there. And then, okay, okay, so we've got spice or coffee. What does coffee go for? 20. So coffee is not good. So we're gonna go all in on the spice. Yes. With that said, we're gonna end the video right here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.